Hello and welcome back. This is episode 14 of my vlog series about creating the art for a 2D video game. And I am not doing a proper intro today that actually shows my face because I look like a human Kleenex and I am not changing my shirt, dang it. So my daughter, whom you have seen, I'm sure if you've been watching this channel for any length of time since she makes frequent appearances, but she's got a bit of a cold and she has been crying and soaking my sleeves, and she has been chewing on my shoulder, so I've got like these wet spots. And then she has been just like wiping her nose on me, and so I've just got like crusty snot like all down my front. And we're not going anywhere today, and it was just not worth the effort for me to get presentable so I could sit in front of a camera. Like, my dedication to this channel only goes so far, so today we're just gonna do a voiceover, and I'm sure you'll hear her in the background, of course. As usual, she is joining me today, and hopefully she'll stay happy for a little while, but she, like I said, she does not believe in suffering in silence, so this may take a couple of takes, and I don't usually take multiple takes if I can help it, so, we'll see how this goes. But if I don't finish this now, that means I'm going to have to record it later today when my son is home from preschool, and that means we'll have 2 kids in the background. So if I possibly can, I'm going to try and finish this all this morning before I have to go and pick him up. But anyway, so enough about, my children and their, bodily functions, snot. Anyway. Enough about that. Let's talk about what I'm actually drawing today. So, last week, if you watched my video, you saw me start drawing the exterior of a tavern. So, in our game, the peasants have something called morale. I think I talked about this last week. This is sounding familiar. But anyway, they have something called morale, and you have to keep your peasants happy, basically. And as they've been working throughout the day, their morale goes down. And so, one of the ways you can raise it back up and raise their efficiency, make them happy, is to provide them somewhere to go, provide them a little entertainment. So we made this tavern for that purpose. And so last week I drew the exterior, and this week I'm showing you all of the interior bits. And of course, if you stick around till the end, I will actually show it to you in-game, so you can see what it looks like actually in its proper context. So one of my goals when I was designing just the furnishings that were going to go inside this tavern was to make it feel super cozy. I wanted it to be a place that you would want to hang out. And I feel like the first thing I think of when I think of a cozy space, of course, is a fireplace. So that one was kind of a given. So the first thing, of course, I drew was this big stone fireplace. And we're getting to the point now where I've created enough in terms of assets and animations that we can actually start recycling things, which is great for me and my workload. So I already did a little flame animation. If you watched, this has been a lot of videos ago, but I drew a little forge. And inside of the forge is a little animated flame, that flickers and glows. And so we're gonna recycle that flame for this fireplace. So woohoo, one less animation for me to draw. But that should make it, feel nice and cozy and warm inside. But, beyond the fireplace, we also needed, more functional kind of furniture as well, because this is a place of business. So, of course, we've got, the counter and some stools, some bar stools where your peasants can come and order and come sit. And behind that, I don't even know exactly what you would call that. There's a display, basically, that goes behind the counter. And it's got, your wine rack on there. And I did, a little banner just to make it feel a little bit more, give it a little personality. But actually, funny thought. So I've got this barrel here and I've got this wine rack, but we haven't totally decided what it is they actually serve here in terms of drinks. Because like I've mentioned before, this is a very family-friendly sort of game. Not juvenile, but definitely family-friendly. And so I don't think we've totally decided whether they actually serve alcohol or whether this is sort of a Legend of Zelda kind of thing, where they have a milk bar. I don't know if any of you have played Majora's Mask. I played that one growing up, loved it. And anyway, so they have the milk bar, of course, where you can go and get milk. And I always thought that was super funny. So we're well, maybe they drink cream soda here. I don't know. Maybe we'll make up our own beverages. So it's no, so it's family friendly, non-alcoholic adult beverages. Yep. because those exist. But anyway, I imagine this is somewhere that you can come and order like food as well. And so we just wanted to make it, the ultimate hangout spot. So I did like round tables as opposed to like square tables because I wanted it to feel very like familial, lots of camaraderie, that sort of thing. And also a nice big bearskin rug because that seemed like a nice, a nice touch, I guess. And actually, that bearskin rug has come in handy, I will tell you, because I've also been working on Garth's house. So I don't know if you remember, but we've got that grumpy old man that's just like hanging out on your property. He's, your steward that's been taking care of this place until you arrive. You as in, the main character arrives. And we figured he probably needed a house, needed somewhere to live. And so I've been working on his house, and I made all of his furnishings. And we imagined that he would live in... because he's a grumpy kind of hermit, like sourpuss, we thought, he would live in a small little shack, more by choice than anything else. But I still wanted to make it feel somewhere very lived in. And after I'd finished making all the furniture and we sort of assembled his house, it just needed one more thing. So, like I mentioned before, now we've got enough stuff that we can start recycling. And so I actually, I had my brother steal the rug, the bearskin rug from this set of assets and also add it to Garth's house. So maybe that'll be next week's video. I haven't totally decided, but at some point I'm going to show you Garth's house, interior and exterior. But yes, now he has the exact same bearskin rug, so it's like, matchy-matchy. But yeah, here in just a second, I'll go ahead and I'll fire up Unity and open up our game so you can see all of this stuff, actually up and running. But hopefully you'll also notice, once I do that, there's been a lot of other stuff going on in the background, that I don't necessarily always record. But we've been, redoing, like, the whole interface. I think, like I've mentioned before, in the beginning stages of working on this project, we were using pre-made, menus and sliders and buttons and all of those things, and some of the stuff that comes just like pre-programmed in Unity and we were using that stuff as placeholders. And so I've been slowly going through and trying to make our own, versions of all those things so that we have, custom menus and custom sliders and buttons and pop-up menus and, whatever else, headers and... Oh, the list goes on. I'm not done with everything yet. But as I've been finishing it, then my brother's been implementing it, and it's starting to really look good, in my humble opinion. I think it's starting to look, very cohesive, like a real game. And, I think some of those, like, little fiddly details, like custom buttons and, scroll bars and scroll buttons, those things are actually, I think, in a lot of ways more important than you would think. We've been putting together a list of everything that we want to have in place for like the beta launch of our game. It won't be the full version of the game, but it will be a complete game. And so we've been putting together this list of everything that we want to have in the beta launch so that we can, get the game out there, have people start testing it, start getting feedback. And originally, having like custom UI was not on that list. We had that saved for the full launch of the game, for the full version. And but the more we did and tested out, the custom stuff, it eventually made its way to the beta launch list, because it just, once you have all of those little elements in place, it makes it feel like a unique game. It makes it, I think it helps people to take it seriously, honestly, because it looks professional, it looks unique. And so I don't know if I had given those sorts of things enough credit before. I kind of saw them as just sort of the icing on the cake, not even the icing, more like the sprinkles on the icing on the cake, and nowhere near necessary for a finished game. And while they're not necessary for a finished, complete game, I think they are necessary to some extent for a professional looking game. So anyway, here in just a second, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Unity, and I'll point out some of those elements as we go. But, most important thing, of course, is the tavern. So I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a guided tour. Okay, so here we are back in our familiar kingdom, and as you can see, my peasants here are working very hard. They are planting potatoes for me, and they're going to be getting tired here pretty soon. So is this lovely young lady. She's been cutting trees for me all morning, while I sit here and watch. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my menu and assign somebody to be our bartender. So of course, as you can see here, this is all that new menu, the new UI that I was talking about. You know, all of these menus are new, the buttons, the scroll bars, all of this stuff I made, and a bunch of these new little icons on the side. And down here, we've got this little pointing hand for our peasant assignments. And right now, these two are assigned to farm, and she's assigned to harvest lumber. This guy's not assigned to do anything. And he's in a great mood because he hasn't had to do any work today. You can see their moods, and they are slowly deteriorating. They usually start the day after breakfast looking like this guy, this bright green smile. And then they slowly sort of get, sadder throughout the day. It kind of works like one of those pain charts at your doctor's office. But anyway, let's go over to Ott here. Ott, you're gonna be my bartender. So I'm gonna assign him, and he should... Hello, baby. My daughter just appeared. And he should... I'm not sure where he went. We're gonna go wait over here by the tavern, and he should show up any second now. I'm not sure where he went. He was off wandering because he didn't have anything else to do. So anyway, here's the tavern. Of course, you saw me make the exterior last week, but it is definitely our biggest building here on our little plot of land. This will be a more expensive, building to make actually in game, so it won't be something that a beginner player would likely have. Here he goes, Ott. He's going in, and let's go ahead and join him. All right, here we are inside. Of course, it is nice and warm and cozy. We've got the bright sunshine coming in through the windows, and our flickering fire. As you can see here, that animation has really come in handy. And, oh, here we go. So one of our peasants now is coming on in to enjoy herself because she has been working hard cutting trees all day. And there's something else, of course, I still need to do. I would like to give the peasants, like, cups or something that they could hold. Oh, here comes some more of them. I would like to give them like cups or something they can hold while they are, here enjoying a drink. And so that's still on my to-do list. But as you can see, they come in here once they are, all worn out for the day. And if I pull up my menu, let's see if they're any happier now. Not yet. Getting there. After they've spent some time in here, oh, he's still pretty happy. Their morale will go up. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of gameplay and getting to see, what everything looks like actually up and running. Of course, I will be back next week with another video, and until then, I hope you have a great week.